Good morning to our attendees who are joining us. Good morning to our attendees joining us here in the board's hearing room. If there are any members of the public who wish to offer commentary on any of our items this morning or offer public comment, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, indicate which item you'd like to speak on and your information, and I will record your information for the record. Thank you. And we'll call upon you when your item is heard. Thank you. And good morning as well to our attendees joining us on the virtual platform, Zoom. I do see a number of hands raised. I'm going to go ahead and go through the attendees who are on Zoom and ask you which item you'd like to speak on and your information. And I will start with Monim or Monim. I apologize if I am mispronouncing your name.
No worries, TJ. It's Mona M. And just public comment this morning. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mona. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute. Kelly. Kelly, I do see your hand raised.
Good morning. Yeah, I would like to speak for public comment today.
Excellent. Have you down for public comment? I'm going to go ahead and mute you and lower your hand.
Thanks.
I'll move next to Crazy Love is Love.
Yes, TJ, just public comment today. Thank you.
All right, I have you down for public comment. Crazy Love is Love. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And I'll move next to Juju. Juju, which item would you like to offer commentary on this morning?
Good morning. Just public comment, please.
Excellent. I have you down for public comment. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute, lower your hand. We'll move next to Mini Minion 7514. Would you like to offer public comment on any of our items this morning?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Public comment, please.
I have you down for public comment. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand, and we'll move next to Yvonne. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Public comment, please, TJ.
I'm sorry, I missed Yvonne. Which items would you like to speak on, or is it just public comment?
Just public comment.
Excellent. I have you down for public
Thank you.
comment. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And we will move next to Gina Freya. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Gina?
Yes. Just public comment, please. I don't know, though, if I'm going to be able to stay on all time because I am at work.
I heard public comment. I didn't hear the second part of what you stated.
Oh, I may not be able, though, to give that depending on time because of time constraint
Okay.
for myself.
Okay. So I just want to address what you're saying, and that is that I take the comments, in this case public comment, in the order in which people appear in my attendee box on Zoom. So I apologize if we do not hear you in time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. We'll move next to Mirjam. Mirjam?
Yes. Public comment, please.
Thank you, Mirjam. Is it Mirjam or Mirjam?
Miriam.
Miriam. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Miriam. Sorry for mispronouncing your name.
It's okay.
I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. And we have Amy's iPhone.
Public comment only. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. Once again, welcome to the Board of Public Works. For those attending here in person, if you would like to offer commentary on any of our items, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we get to your item. And good morning as well to our Zoom attendees. Good morning to those who have already indicated that they would like to offer comment. And good morning to those who have not yet indicated. If you would like to offer comment and you're on the Zoom platform, please press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute, identify yourself for the record and which item you'd like to speak on, and I'll record your information for the record. It is 9:55 and we should get started in approximately 10 minutes.
No, after school, you were all to go home immediately. That means no biking around looking for your friends, no investigating, no nonsense. Ain't some Lord of the Rings book.
Good morning. This is TJ Knight, Acting Executive Officer. I do see an additional hand raised on our Zoom platform. Mark Chonies?
Yeah,
Would you like to offer commentary on any of our items this morning, Mark?
yeah. Public comment in on Article 1.
Public comment and item 1.
Yeah.
I have you down for public comment in item 1. Thank you, Mark.
All right. What is item?
So I'm going to make an announcement. I just put one of our attendees on mute, and that attendee unmuted themselves, and so that's not allowed. Again, this is TJ Knight, Acting Executive Officer for the Board of Public Works. And for members of the public offering commentary, please keep on topic. If you do not speak on an agenda item or on an item that is within the board's jurisdiction for general public comment, you will get 2 warnings and then you will be removed. You can also not unmute yourself. You have to wait until the facilitator, in this case it's me, unmutes you. So those attendees who unmute themselves will be given a warning that they're interrupting the meeting. I hope this makes sense. Thank you. Into record mode and establish quorum. Cool. All right. And President Corson, we are now in record mode.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Public Works meeting for Wednesday, November 6th. Brief roll call. Mr. Knight?
Yes. Good morning, President Corson. Acting Executive Officer TJ Knight taking role in establishing quorum. President Corson, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Kang, and Commissioner Mitchell are present. We do have a quorum. We are also joined this morning by City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi. Once again, I'm Acting Executive Officer TJ Knight. President Corson, we have speaker cards under public comment and all items in the room. And we also have a request for public comment on Zoom. We have no neighborhood council commentary this morning, and we are ready to proceed.
Great, thank you. Just for everyone's notice, we'll take a recess for about 15 minutes at 11:30. We'll do public comment after the presentations and after the minutes. So if there's a motion to approve, if there's a second to my motion to approve the minutes.
A second.
Mr. Knight, we have a first by myself and a second from Commissioner Grant.
Excellent. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of minutes for Friday, October 18th, 2024, starting with you, President Corson.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved unanimously.
All right, thank you, everyone. Let's jump right into the presentation we have for our Terminal Island employees. If Lance and Hisang are here to kick it off. Make it a joyous presentation.
I hope so.
That's right.
Good morning, President Corson, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, commissioners, city leaders, and to all of you, congratulations on your new roles. I'm Lance Thibodeau, the plant manager of Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, and I'm here with Hisang Kim, the acting executive plant manager of Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. We're here to acknowledge several LA sanitation staff who went above and beyond their normal assignment and showed their commitment and dedication to LA sanitation success during a very fluid and unprecedented situation. First, for some background, as you're probably aware, at Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, also known as TI, we treat an average of 15 million gallons a day of wastewater from Wilmington, San Pedro, and the Los Angeles Harbor area. The plant is operated 7 days a week and 24 hours a day, including holidays. And we're at the end of the line in the harbor area. So without our plant operating properly, there would be tremendous environmental impacts. At Terminal Island, we have processes including microfiltration, reverse osmosis, and ultraviolet advanced oxidation. These processes further treat our tertiary effluent to produce a highly purified recycled water that is injected into the Dominguez Gap barrier to protect groundwater reservoirs from seawater intrusion. And the recycled water is also used by industrial users for their cooling towers and boilers. And so these uses of the advanced treated water replace the need for and preserve the limited potable drinking water supply and make the city of Los Angeles less dependent on imported water. And now for the reason why we're here today. On the afternoon of September 26, 2024, Terminal Island staff received notification from the LA Fire Department stating that there was a fire on Terminal Island, not the plant, but the island itself. And that fire affected the entrance onto the island from the 3 access roads. So through subsequent communication with the Los Angeles Port Police Dispatch, TI staff became informed that a semi-truck carrying lithium batteries overturned on California Highway 47 and caught on fire, blocking the road. You may have saw that in the news probably. California Highway 47 is the main road that all drivers entering and leaving Terminal Island must use. So due to the fire department's need to leave the semi-truck in place and let the fire burn off in a controlled fashion, drivers could leave Terminal Island, but drivers would not be allowed to enter Terminal Island until the fire was diminished. The authorities gave an estimated time frame of 24 to up to 72 hours, which would have equated to the afternoon of Thursday, September 26th, to potentially the afternoon of Sunday, September 29th. So due to the need for staff to be on site to properly operate the plant in order to maintain the state Department of Drinking Water and South Coast Air Quality Management District permit compliance, senior operators Sam Polaris and Carlos Aristizabal made a big ask to staff if they would stay over for at least 24 hours. But at the time, they were pretty much signing up for being at work for 72 hours, if any of us could imagine.
Hello, good morning, newly appointed commissioners and president. My name is Hee-sang Kim, acting hyperion treatment plant manager. Yes, as Lance just mentioned, Terminal Island Treatment Plant is a 24/7 operation facility. There's no such thing as shutting down the plant, even for a few hours. Shutting down the plant means disaster. Is not going to be fun. We try to make this fun, our job fun, but it's not going to be fun because we will see sewage spill over San Pedro, Wilmington, and spilled sewage is going out to LA Harbor, Cabrillo Beach, and all that. None of us want to hear that. And we depend the sanitation and Terminal Island water reclamation plant. Definitely, we depend on these dedicated employees. Human resources are the foremost important assets that we have in the sanitation and in the city. And here we have the best example of dedicated public employees. And I'd like to introduce these 6 outstanding wastewater treatment operators and 1 laboratory technician who sacrificed their personal commitment, like soccer game or birthday party or wedding anniversary. I'm not going to ask their personal life, but these are the dedicated employees. So let me introduce one by one, starting Steve Serda. Oh, take a picture. And by the way, Steve Serda is a wastewater treatment operator 3. Next, Sean Bell, acting senior treatment operator who cannot make today's presentation. And next, Robert Messias, acting wastewater treatment operator 3. Next, Larry Martinez, acting wastewater treatment operator 3. Next, Jorge Gutierrez, laboratory technician 2. Carlos Aristizabal, acting operations manager. Last but not least, Sam Polaris, acting operation manager and also chief plant operator. Thank you. That concludes our presentation and recognition. And then again, these are the people who run the department, run the bureau. But I and Lance just work together with them, so encourage them. So these are the heroes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before you go, Mr. Kim, could you read the one certificate that's left so we can all know what, and the public can know what is on the certificate itself?
Sure. Certificate of Recognition, the Board of Public Works honors. In this one, Sean Bell, Acting Senior Treatment Operator, Bureau of Sanitation. His commendable actions to volunteer without any clear resolution or timeline highlights the relentless dedication this individual has and his willingness to answer the call and take action in the face of adversity during the Terminal Island access roads and Los Angeles port closure, September 26th through 28th, 2024, and signed by the President and the Board Commissioners.
Thank you. Commissioners, any comments to share? Commissioner Grant?
Lance took my pun that this was a very fluid situation. But I really think that the upside of this potentially horrific situation is that it gives us a chance to herald the exceptional work that you do day in and day out without, recognition. And this was even beyond the call of duty, and it makes me proud to be part of Public Works, to have employees like you who stand up for this city and make sure that this city works and serves everyone. Thank you again for what you did and what you do continually.
Thank you. Anyone else? Vice President Chavez?
Yes, I also want to commend the work of the employees. I think you are an inspiration to all of us. I wanted to also thank you for not just going above and beyond, but also the sacrifice that your families made of not having you around, right, where you were there. So it's beyond just the person, but the sacrifices that are made to the people that rely on you day in and day out as well. So, City thanks you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kang?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to echo my fellow commissioners just to say congratulations and thank you very much.
Commissioner Mitchell?
I concur.
I'll keep it just as brief. You know what? If you've come to some of our retirement celebrations, I've often said, thank you to you and your families, as Vice President Chavez said. I think this is one of those times where your commitment to the city and the work that we do, and sometimes stepping up and stepping in when the time calls, is truly a commitment, not for yourselves, but for your families, understanding that the job can sometimes be a lot more strenuous than people imagine. So thank you for stepping up and stepping in. And the least we could do is provide certificates. And the least we can do is we're going to take a quick 2 or 3 minute pause to take a group photo in the back with all of the commissioners as well. Thank you, everyone. All right, Mr. Knight, it is 10:20 and we're back. If you need to reestablish quorum for us.
Yes, thank you, President Corson. We're back in record mode, and again, Acting Executive Officer TJ Knight taking role in reestablishing quorum. We have President Corson, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Kang, and Commissioner Mitchell present. We are joined by City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi, and the time is now 10:21.
Great. We'll move on to general public comment. I have two cards for in-room public comment for Audit LA and Gigi. They're not here, so we'll just go to virtual until they come back.
We do have another public comment in the room who just provided a speaker card. If you would like, I can call out that person's name or hand it to you. It's Defender of Fat, I believe, or Ant. Defender of Ant.
And before Defender of Ant comes up, or we go to the virtual platform, just as a reminder, general public comment to address the board will be provided for up to 2 minutes per person for a cumulative total of 20 minutes. Testimony shall be limited to the content and the matters that are within the subject matter and jurisdiction of the board. The board may not take any action on matters discussed during the public comment period. The board will also provide an opportunity for public comment to address board on agenda items before or during consideration of the item for 2 minutes per person for a cumulative of up to 10 minutes. And all of those rules are on our agenda. And we'll go now to the virtual platform. Mr. Knight?
Yes, very well. We can start with Mona M. Mona M., you should be receiving a pop-up asking you to unmute. Go ahead and unmute. Hi,
I
good morning.
received it. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, Board of Public Works. It's me again, Mona. I'm hoping that you don't get used to me, really. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. I would like to remind you of why the board should and need to follow your own rules and regulations. The atrocities and abuses happening behind the walls at the Blue Building of Scientology are the reason we stand before you week after week. The cult of Scientology feels it is above the law and does not need to follow ordinances. This is for the exact same issue I have been terrorizing the previous board members about since April. On L. Ron Hubbard Way and Fountain Avenue, without resolution, I remind you that it is as a community member, it is my job to bring you these issues. However, it is your job to be judicious and resolute in your actions to do something about it. The planters and keeping L. Ron Hubbard Way open due to fraudulent permits that are constantly being given is your problem to solve, not mine. I want to remind you the past disregard for municipal, state, and federal regulations is abhorrent but not shocking, since the relationship between the City of LA and Scientology is blatantly obvious. I have high hopes for this new board membership, and again, welcome you to working with us on this issue in the community. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, Mona. We'll move next to Kelly. Kelly, followed by Crazy Love is Love. Go ahead, Kelly. You have 2 minutes.
Good morning. Same as Mona, I'm here again. Yes, I realized some of the things like planters and city permits and things like this might seem a little trivial when compared to severe elderly and child abuse, human trafficking, fraud of great proportions. It is incredibly trivial. But again, we just are here trying to remind the organization of Scientology that they are not above the law in any way, that we have the ability to do so. And I, as a human, speaking to other humans, urge you to look into this and not just take my word for it or our word for it, but to do whatever you can as a human to help these other humans that are stuck in this organization. On a city level, the planters have been moved. They are now lined right next to one another with no space in between, creating a complete barrier for anybody wanting to walk off the sidewalk onto the street. Also, I wanted to just say that if this situation with permits and planters and et cetera have been taken up by the city attorney, Heidi Soto's office, if that's why you're not taking action, it's been in her office for a long time, and there are plenty of allegations to suggest there may be some level of corruption or coercion, or not coercion, corruption and I don't know, collaboration between her and Scientology. So you're going to have to probably follow up on that if that's the case, and no longer passing the buck, hoping that they take care of it. Thank you, and
Thank you, Kelly.
there was something else. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. That's 2 minutes. And we'll move next to Crazy Love is Love. You should be able to unmute, and you have 2 minutes to offer your commentary.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. I'm here to address an urgent matter that directly impacts the safety of our community and the fundamental rights of the citizens. I'm speaking about the street closures granted by to Scientology, which are blocking the public access, endangering the public safety. These closures are illegal. They are infringing upon our First Amendment rights. It's time for the city to take action and take responsibility and act. The First Amendment guarantees every citizen the right to freedom of speech, peaceful assembly, and access to public spaces. The public streets and sidewalks are vital to these rights to be exercised. However, these street closures are denying citizens their basic right to move freely, to speak and assemble in public. This is a direct violation of our constitutional rights. By granting permits for these street closures, the city is not just restricting our access, it's actively blocking citizens from engaging in free expression. The taxpayers and residents who use these public spaces are being silenced, denied the right to pass through and to participate in civic life. This is unacceptable. The situation is not just about inconvenience, it's about real, tangible risk to the public safety. Under Los Angeles Municipal Code, Section 62.118, the public right-of-way must remain clear for pedestrian access and emergency vehicles. The city's failure to remove these closures and obstructions violates these laws. These closures and planters are blocking escape routes, obstructing emergency services, creating tripping hazards.
That's 2 minutes. Thank you, Crazy Love is Love. We'll move next to Juju, followed by Minion. Juju, you should be receiving a pop-up asking you to unmute. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. I, along with the previous speakers, have been coming to this board since April, May, June. It has increased as the concerns have increased with people speaking out more. All of the previous grievances that we've brought before the previous board, I understand there are new members now, have been ignored as far as we know. We have evidence of collusion between the city issuing permits and the Scientology executives that handle these permits. We also have proof that Scientology has been issued a letter or demand to remove the fencing and the hanging curtains that are obstructing the right-of-way on sidewalks and the street, to remove thorny plants, aka the rose bushes that they have planted on the easement, to block people access in and out of their cars onto the sidewalks. The permits that they're getting also were told in the letter that they received that the permits needed to be posted. That has not happened. When we ask for a permit, they give us a random number which does not coincide with the portal permit number. and some of the permits even don't even have a work order number. So we're not sure what's going on, if they're valid or not. They have done all of this to block people from seeing and accessing what is going on behind those barriers that they're putting up. The abuses of children, the
Thank you.
elderly abuse and neglect. And
Thank you, Juju. That's 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute. And if, for those of you who are attending the Zoom meeting and offering public commentary, if you have another meeting that we can hear audibly in the background, if you'd be so kind as to unmute it when you offer your public comment, that would allow us to hear what you have to say. Or if you're listening to this meeting, if you could please unmute it if you have it on a secondary device. We'll move next to Mini Minion, followed by Yvonne. Mini Minion, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, hi, how you doing? I'm from the beautiful island of Long Island, New York, and as I sit here and watch all my friends battle the Church of Scientology, I fear for their lives.
I'm sorry, I think there's a connection issue or a network issue. We're hearing some static.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
Much better? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So, like I was saying, I'm following suit with my friends who battle the Church of Scientology and how awful things that have been done. What unfolded on Sunday was horrific for us to sit and witness. Children running away from a cult, trying desperately to get someone's attention to listen to them. The police department never even took a statement, nothing from anyone who witnessed this. What is wrong with y'all? You guys are, it's absurd. Here in the great state of New York, we rescued 47 missing children from child trafficking. Why don't you follow suit with what we're doing here in New York? We're straightening up our city. Our city does not like the Church of Scientology. We know they're garbage. We know what they do. We do not want them in our city nor in our counties. Okay, take them back to yours if that's what you like. This is crazy now. Children's lives are at risk. Please, I'm begging you, for just my own poor mental health watching this. Or anyone, please listen. Don't let this fall on deaf ears. These children need help. They're begging for help, yelling, screaming. They want us to help them. Can't you get this? Please, Los Angeles, please do something. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mini Minion. If we could move next to Yvonne, followed by Gina. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Thank you, Ted. I want to reserve my standing to file legal redress against the individuals and the board and the city of Los Angeles and all its advisors on all topics and agenda items brought forth by this agency of the city of Los Angeles in perpetuity. The minutes approved were not on the agenda, nor were they available for public review in a non-existent agenda packet for today's meeting. Item number 1 is a possible violation of the Brown Act as it was insufficiently described, and a private meeting with all the board members and other agencies, including the mayor, is a violation of the Brown Act, with only exclusions for personnel actions and possible lawsuits. The planters, the sidewalks, the special events by Scientology remain a constant contention. The general upkeep of the sidewalk is also a general contention. When you allow the Scientologists to put up those curtains, you hide crimes. You hide crimes when they put up those great big, excessively tall barriers on Sunset and Catalina for their events. They hide crimes. When they turn loudspeakers onto Sunset and Catalina to blast the music, they hide crimes. They destroy the peacefulness of being in a hospital, if that's peaceful. You have citizens not activists bullhorning the event because it is outrageously loud. You're hiding crimes. Stop the
2 minutes.
criminal activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. We'll move next to Gina. Gina, are you still in the room? I don't see your name on the queue. If you didn't, Gina did indicate that she may not be available when we get to public comment. So I don't see in the queue. We'll move to Miriam, followed by Amy's iPhone. Miriam, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay. I'm calling because I have a concern regarding favoritism towards Church of Scientology and endangering the public. When granting the event permits on L. Ron Hubbard Way, it is documented that the cult of Scientology is giving an expedited channel to arrange events in these locations for certain small communities that they are friendly with. However, when instances critical with the church or the cult are applying for a permit, it has been made virtually impossible. The events held on L. Ron Hubbard Way are in most events open to public. However, the cult has hired armed security to intimidate all anti-Scientology activists performing their First Amendment rights on the sidewalks of the location. I am myself calling from Denmark, just to let you know that the whole world is watching the corrupt manner the Los Angeles city officials are operating, including the public works. And you need to do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam.
Mr. Knight, I announced at the beginning of public comment that there was a maximum of 20 minutes of general public comment. I think right now we're at 14, and we have a few in-person cards that I had announced, but we did not get to, so I think we should just go to those. And if we hit 20 minutes, I'm sorry to the Zoom callers, but those are the rules before us. So we'll go with Audit LA.
And you have 2 minutes to offer your commentary.
Is this good enough, or do you want me to take it? Because it's not coming out. Oh, I got it. Good morning, commissioners. Welcome to the new commissioners. Hope to get to know you soon. Mr. Commissioner, President Corsand, looking very presidential, and you know, congratulations, Vice President, and of course, President Pro Tem, who I, no offense, wanted for Vice President, because he's an upstanding guy, but anyway. So, Mr. President, I really truly believe that this board is a new chance for, you know, all of us to kind of work together for these issues. There's a lot of frustration, as you can hear and know, and it's true. Because like it's just like they're doubling down, like with these planters, they're putting them closer together and more, I think more of them, which is just like in our face. And then they have this huge like tent thing it's in their parking lot, but we can't find any permit for it. And like really, we just want them, if they're allowed to have it, that's fine, but it has to be the same rules as everyone else. And I just want to ask if you guys can agendize these items, or try to get to the bottom of things, because I believe you're all fair and reasonable. Like I'm giving, I come here with the open heart and let's try to work this together. I'm not here I don't think I only get antagonistic. It's only been controversial with the two former presidents because, they didn't handle themselves correctly, with the public. But I'm very confident with President Corsand, and I say that publicly. Very confident. He's always been decent, and to me, has integrity. So I'm just asking, sir, if you could find a way to help us, because it helps the community. There are the two girls who ran away, and I don't know, and they were like, the father was just take them to an event there, and they got scared, and one of them got snatched up by several SUVs and all these security, which was terrorizing. The other had to go to a complete stranger begging for help. We don't know where these girls are, if they're well. We just want your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, could you clarify how many minutes of general public comment are left?
Yes, we have 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left. Okay, we will go to Gigi.
Hey, I was called in on Zoom, first time being here in person. sort of nervous in this public setting, but instead of complaining about what you guys aren't doing, I want to say I brought up an issue about a huge wooden pole on Franklin at Bronson. The day that I brought it up, there was a barricade making it more noticeable, white with the orange stripes on it. I had a concern that people might be driving and just instinctively go in the loading lane, not see it, cause an accident, cause liability. Y'all took care of it right away. I went by last night. I saw that that pole is now cut in half. So I think maybe you guys are in preparation to actually get it removed, but it's easier to do it in smaller pieces or something. So if that's what you guys are going to do, thank you so much for actually listening and doing something about it. I mentioned Monday about the thorny plants and how there was a violation about them. I'm going to just let that be. And now that you guys are a new board, hopefully something's going to be done and I won't have to bring it up again. But I have faith in you because I've seen progress with the poll. So I hope that other people who think that things are moving too slow, not on their time, I hope they realize that things can actually work out. And I think we got a good team here. I'm very happy with President Corson. I called in and I said, I wanted you as, same thing as her. I wanted you as vice president, but I read your background and I'm glad someone that has strong knowledge of the Brown Act is vice president. That stuck out to me. And Commissioner King, I don't know much about you, but you're paying a bunch of attention to people. I notice you listening, nodding when you are hearing stuff. And Commissioner, the judge thing, very important to me. I like keeping things, legal, and I'm optimistic for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
And we have 2 minutes left of general public comment. And for those in the Zoom, we announced earlier that our board rules allow a maximum of 20 minutes of general public comment, and we're now at 18 minutes. We have one more card that was announced at the beginning of general public comment for Defender of Art.
Or Ant.
Ant.
Yes.
Defender of Ant, not here. So we'll take one more Zoom caller if they take up the entire 2 minutes.
And that would be Amy's iPhone.
Hi, good morning. Hi. I'm going to reiterate what everyone said. I'm not really giving you a lot of leeway like your previous speaker because I don't see any action on the planter situation. We are your growing hemorrhoid that you will soon need a big bottle of Preparation H because you all need to be investigated as to why it's moving so slowly. And as an RN, it's really disgusting that you've taken no action to remove the planters. It's a hazard for all the children that can't get moved by, mothers walking strollers, trying to get up the sidewalk, and people that are disabled. And also, you have a new sheriff that it's going to be in town by the name of Nathan Hochman. He's your new DA. He's a different political party, so that political party is really into law and order. And I hope that he looks into the cult of Scientology, as I have been leaving messages on his Facebook page and also tweeted him about the crimes of Scientology. And if no action is being done, I will be continuing to make comments on his Facebook page about inactions that are going on so that you all can be looked at into collusion. Maybe the DA can start looking at what all of you are doing and your lack of movement on the planters that we all have been calling into you on. We are the biggest squeaky wheel and the world is watching. I'm calling from the East Coast so everybody sees it, and it's an embarrassment. You look like such an embarrassment. What a shanda. What a terrible. The shanda means a shame in Jewish, but it's a shame. It's a pariah of the whole world that's watching you. It's absolutely disgusting, and I hope that the new DA looks into you and finds out what's going on. The DA is he was on the Division of Tax Revenue. He was in DOJ. He investigated taxes, and he probably doesn't like that the Scientology is tax exempt, and he's probably going to help build the RICO case that's going against it. And I hope that all of you aren't brought up on RICO because you may be brought into the whole thing. Bye.
Thank you, Amy. And that concludes public comment for this morning.
All right. Thank you to everyone.
Scientology is a cult. Kids can't consent.
I apologize for that.
Thank you for everyone who joined us for public comment. Personally, I love it when people participate in our meetings. It makes it sound like people are actually paying attention to the Board of Public Works. We'll now move on to items 1 2 and 3 and 4, which are all bids, but we'll start with item number 1. We do have one general public.
Los Angeles is not North Korea. They don't need armed security guards.
Mr.
around
Knight,
that
if we could
building.
give that person a warning, and the second warning, we will have to remove them from the Zoom.
Thank you, President Corson. So Zoom user Juju and Zoom user Mark Chonas are both warned that they cannot this is their first and only warning that they've interrupted the meeting. Should they interrupt the meeting again, they will be removed from the Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you. So item number 1 is bids for East 6th Green Infrastructure Corridor, work order S33WE6GC. We'll start with public comment for that one. I believe we have one public comment card for in-person Audit LA. Okay. And just as a reminder that we allow a maximum of 10 minutes of public comment for individual board items. They must be related to the board item. Our city attorney will police that for us today. And each public commenter has a maximum of 2 minutes. Mr. Knight, let's move on to the virtual platform.
We have no virtual comments on any of our items other than public comment.
Okay, thank you. Let's read those bids.
Thank you, President Corson. So I'm joined this morning by Board Secretariat employee Matthew Castellanos, and we have one bid opening, and then we have three bids to read into the record that were opened last Wednesday. And our first bid, as you mentioned, is for the Public Works Project East 6th Street Green Infrastructure Corridor. And our first bid received is from Access Pacific Incorporated. Access Pacific Incorporated's total bid amount is $2,485,000, 2,485,000. Oh, I apologize. I misread the total bid amount because there is an additive alternative. So please strike from the record the dollar amount that I just read. The total bid amount is $2,530,000, $2,530,000 for Access Pacific Incorporated. And that's the only bid that we've received on item number 1 this morning.
Okay. Do we have a motion to receive that bid?
Motion to receive the bid.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, we have a first from Commissioner Grant and a second from Vice President Chavez.
And we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on bid received, open and declared forthwith, starting with you, President Corson.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 1 is received, open and declared forthwith unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 2, also to receive bids. This one for Sidewalk Repair Program Package number 68, Capital and Technology Improvement Expenditure Program. I don't think we have any in-person public comment. Do we have any virtual public comment?
We do have one in person on all items. Audit LA.
Audit LA, I think she stepped out.
Okay. So then we have no virtual commentary on these items. And item number 2 was opened on October 30th, 2024. And so we're just reading the total amount into the record at this time, which is our normal protocol. And this is for Sidewalk Repair Package number 68, Capital and Technology Improvement Expenditure Program in CD12 Work Order E1908081. And the city engineer's estimate is $1,231,337. And we've received 4 bids on this item. The first bid is from Alameda Construction Services Incorporated with a total bid amount of $1,089,968, $1,089,968. The second bid is from Axiom Group. Axiom Group's total bid amount is $1,285,488.20, $1,285,488.20. Our third bid is from Geronimo Concrete Incorporated. Geronimo Concrete Incorporated's total bid amount is $1,323,277, $1,323,277. 277. And the fourth and final bid on item number 2 is from Addison Miller with a total bid amount of $1,239,021. 1,239 and 21. And that concludes bid opening for item number 2 this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Do we have a motion to receive those bids?
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. We have a first from Vice President Chavez and a second from Commissioner King.
Very well. We'll take a roll call vote for item number 2, starting with you, President Corson.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 2 is received, open, and declared forthwith.
All right, moving on to item 3, also receiving bids. This one for Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program, Round 4, Jordan Downs, S3, Sustainable Transportation Infrastructure and Transit-Related Amenities Improvements. We have one in-person public comment card for Audit LA. Do we have any virtual public comment?
We do not, President Corson.
Okay, let's move on to receiving the bids.
And so again, this bid was opened on October 30th, 2024, and we're just reading it into the record at this time. And we've received one bid for item number 3, and it is from Axiom Group. Axiom Group's total bid amount is $6,117,707.99. 6,117,707.99. And that concludes today's bid opening.
Wonderful. Do we have a motion to receive that bid? Okay.
I will move to receive that bid.
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, we have a motion from Vice President Chavez and a second from Commissioner Kang.
Very well. We'll take a roll call vote on item number 3, starting with you, President Corsent.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 3 is received, open, and declared forthwith.
All right, moving on to number 4, the last of the bids. So much excitement receiving bids. This is for the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program, Round 4, Weingart Tower, Sustainable Transportation Infrastructure and Transit-Related Amenities Improvements. We have one in-person public comment card from Audit LA, who has left the room. Do we have one from the virtual platform, Mr. Knight?
We do not.
All right.
And item number 4 is for bids that were received and opened on Wednesday, October 30th for the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program, Round 4, Weingart Tower, Sustainable Transportation Infrastructure and Transit-Related Amenities Improvements. And the city engineer's estimate is $4,311,451, and 2 bids have been received. The first bid is from Axiom Group for a total bid amount of $6,235,239.16. And the second and final bid received is from PPC Construction with a total bid amount of $6,069,219. 6,069,219. And that concludes today's bid opening.
Great, thank you. Do we have a motion to receive the bid?
I'll move to receive those bids.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. We have a motion from Vice President Chavez and a second from Commissioner Kang.
And thank you so much, President Corson. We'll take a roll call vote on receipt of bids for item number 4, starting with you, President Corson.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 4 is received, open, and declared forthwith unanimously.
Great. Moving on to item number 4, item number 5, which is the relinquishment of rights in future alley and lot 31, tract 10938 Haskell Avenue from the Bureau of Engineering in CD 12. Do we have Bach Go here for the presentation? Come on up, sir.
Thank you.
Actually, before you begin, let me just clarify if we have any public comment. We do have one in-person card for Audit LA, who again has left the room. Do we have any virtual public comment?
We do not, President Corson.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Mr. President and all the commissioners.
Can you just speak into the mic, please?
Okay, Good morning, commissioners and representatives. My name is Bob Go. I'm with the Land Development Group, Bureau of Engineering. Today we have a relinquishment request from Elaine and Nasha Abolian. They are the property owner. The relinquishment of rights is basically based on Code of Civil Procedure, Article 2, Section 771.010. Okay. In that code section, it states that that the future alley has to be a minimum of 25 years old before it can be relinquished, and the dedicated area must be sold to a third party after dedication, and the area has not been improved. Okay. Per Council File 73-2735, Council delegated the authority to terminate future alley and street easement to the Board of Public Works if the conditions were met, all three of them. Okay, so this property that we discussed is located at 10938 Haskell Avenue. The area, the easement, future easement was set aside by a map in June 8, 1955. So it's more than 25 years. The property was later sold to a third party in 2021, so it met the second condition. And the area currently is not improved, so it has never been used, so it met the third conditions. So with this request, we sent our referral letter to CD12. We talked to Planning Department, and we talked to BOE Central Valley District, and none of them oppose the relinquishment request. Okay. So we would like we are recommending to the board that we execute the attached document, to relinquish the area, any and all rights to the City of Los Angeles for public area purposes, and that only. Okay. The partitioner applicant will be required to make a payment for the county recording fees. And we request that the city clerk to attest the signature of the public work commissioners. And then we would like to also have the board to instruct the real estate department of the BOE to record the executed document in the city, in the office of the county recorder's office. That's what we are trying to do today.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Go. Do we have any questions or comments from our commissioners? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, we have a motion from Vice President Chavez and a second from Commissioner Kang.
Very well, and we will go ahead and take a roll call vote on item number 5, starting with you, President Corsant.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 5 is approved unanimously. And this report is adopted subject to conditions forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6, construction order from BOE and CD3 for Mike Perlich and Sons. And before we move to that item, public comment, we have one public comment card from Audit LA, not in the room. And do we have any virtual hands raised?
Let me just verify. We do not, President Corsant.
Great. And we'll close public comment for this one. And Mr. Schmidt, the show is yours.
Okay. Thank you, President Corzan. Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Schmidt, Bureau of Engineering, Geotechnical Engineering Division. This board report is for the award of the Mulholland Drive slough wall project near address 22423 through 22569 to a contractor on our emergency pre-qualified on-call geotechnical structural construction services list. Work order number E-190-9164. In this board report, we're recommending that the Board of Public Works approve a construction order for the project to Mike Perlich and Sons in the amount of $577,447 with a not to exceed limit of $654,772, including contingency, and also authorize the president or two members of the board to execute the construction or after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney. The Bureau of Engineering administers the emergency pre-qualified on-call geotechnical structural contractors list to provide urgent necessity and emergency geotechnical structural construction services for repair, replacement, and/or construction of retaining walls, bulkheads, and slopes, placement of engineered fill and erosion control, debris removal, and other emergency geotechnical structural services on public works projects. On December 13th, 2023, the board approved the 2024 through 2029 emergency pre-qualified on-call list of 6 contractors and authorized the city engineer to transmit and execute contracts agreements. That's transmittal number 1 of the report. The current term of the on-call contracts is set for 5 years, and they will expire on January 2nd of 2029. For this project, there's an urgent need to replace failed and excessively deteriorated portions of an existing timber retaining structure along a section of Mulholland Drive. Again, your address is 22423 to 22569. At this location, ongoing erosion from an ascending slope has created the accumulation of debris at the base of the slope and onto the sidewalk and roadway. The proposed project would benefit the public by increasing safety and facilitating travel on the sidewalk and roadway. The scope of work will consist of removing the accumulated slough material at the toe of the slope, constructing a 130 linear foot slough wall consisting of 17 cast in place drilled hole piles with steel I-beams encased in concrete, 79 precast concrete lagging panels, and replacing 48 timber lagging panels and installing a handrail behind the new slough wall. On August 21st, 2024, bids for the project were solicited from the contractors on the emergency pre-qualified list in accordance with the executed contracts. On September 11th, 2024, 4 bids were received, of which Mike Perlich and Sons was the low bidder. That's transmittal number 2 of the board report. Mike Perlich's bid in the amount of $577,447 was 0.96% below the city engineer's estimate of $583,050. Mike Perlich and Sons bid listed their item total for a bid item incorrectly. Staff corrected Mike Perlich's total bid amount or total item total in accordance with the procedures set forth in the general instructions and information for bidders. Mike Perlich and Sons was contacted and notified of the corrections, and the corrections did not change the order of the bids. Clark Contracting Corporation, they were the 4th lowest bidder. They also listed their total bid amount incorrectly. Staff corrected Clark's total bid amount in accordance with the procedures set forth in the general instructions and information for bidders. Clark was also contacted and notified of the corrections, and the corrections again did not change the order of the bids. Staff recommends that the board execute a construction order for the project with Mike Perlich and Sons in the amount of $577,447 with a not to exceed limit of $654,772, including contingency. Funding for the project in the amount of $654,772 is available in the SB1 Road Maintenance Rehabilitation Program Special Fund, Fund number 59V, Department 50, Appropriation Unit number 50YZA0. That concludes my presentation of this board report, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Do we have any questions on this item, commissioners? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. We have a motion from President Pro Tem Grant and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Corsan. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item number 6, starting with you, President Corsan.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes. Item number 6 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 7 in CD15, a request for authority from the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, second lower feeder, Prester Cest Concrete Cylinder Pipe Rehabilitation Reach 3B project. And before we hear the presentation, we do have one public comment card for in-person from Audit LA, who is not in the room. Do we have any virtual hands raised, Mr. Knight?
We do not, President Corson.
Great. Please proceed.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Nosheen Kamal. I'm a senior civil engineer with the Bureau of Engineering Central District Office, where we issue utility permits to utility companies. I am joined here today with my partners at Metropolitan Water District. I will allow them to introduce themselves.
Good morning, Lizette Martinez with the Metropolitan Water District. I'm the interim community relations team manager.
And good morning, I'm Christian Ovalle, also with Metropolitan Water District, team manager for the Pipeline Rehabilitation Project Management Team.
Bureau of Engineering's utility permits are issued to utility companies, confirming that they are in compliance with our Los Angeles Municipal Code, as well as city's permitting regulations. The scope of work with the PMCM knowledge is with MW, that's MWD, and that is why they are joining me at the meeting today. Metropolitan's rehabilitation of the second lower feeder pipeline is vital for the continued reliable water supply to the city of Los Angeles and adjacent South Bay communities. The project is essential to ensuring an uninterrupted water supply continues to reach residents and the harbor communities of the city, as well as neighboring municipalities. By implementing this project, the community is provided a safe and reliable water supply for many years to come. The request on the board report is to temporarily close 220th Street between Harvard and Western Avenue from November to May 2025. The scope of work under the U permit includes all pipeline realigning work along 220th Street, replacement of a sectionalizing valve, and ancillary upgrades within an existing valve vault. All pipeline rehabilitation work will be performed within a 56-foot long by 17-foot wide by 25 feet deep vault onto 20th Street. The U permit work includes installation of temporary traffic control plans, excavation and removal of materials, existing 42-inch plug valve and actuator, slip lining of approximately 200 feet of 78-inch diameter pipe with new steel liner, installation of new 48-inch diameter lubricated plug valve and actuator, upgrades to the electrical service, and repaving of impacted street pavements in the vicinity of the work. This project has been coordinated with all community stakeholders and jurisdictional agencies to ensure the completion of this project and to avoid unplanned outages and pipeline failures. MWD, Metropolitan Water District, will be rehabilitating their pipe within the city of Los Angeles and the remainder of the work in the city of Lomita. Council District Number 15 has concurred and supported with the scope of work for the full temporary closure. Metropolitan Water District has worked very closely with the impacted residents who have also had their concerns met and are in support of the project. This concludes my report. MWD and I are happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll move.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Mr. Knight, we have a motion to approve from Commissioner Kang and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Very well, thank you, President Corson. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on item number 7, starting with you, President Corson.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 7 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kamal, don't go far. I think you have number 8 as well.
Thank you.
But let me read it into the record and say we have public comment. This one is in CD7, a request for authority, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power and City Trunk Line North Unit 1 project. We have one in-person public comment card from Audit LA, who is not in the room. Do we have any virtual hands raised, Mr. Knight?
We do not, President.
We do not. Look at us moving breezily through this. Ms. Kamal, you're back. Go ahead.
My apologies, my notes were at the seat. So good morning, commissioners. Again, Nosheen Kamal, senior civil engineer at the Bureau of Engineering Central District Office, where we issue permits to utility companies. That is why I'm joined here by our friends and partners at Department of Water and Power. I will allow them to introduce themselves.
Hi, good morning, commissioners. My name is Genevieve Hahn. I'm a waterworks engineer for our Trunkline Construction Support Group at LADUP's water system.
Good morning, commissioners. I am also a waterworks engineer. I manage one of the 3 project management offices in the Water Engineering and Technical Services Division.
Good morning. My name is Clemente Valdovinos. I am the construction engineer for the City Trunkline North Unit 1 project.
So I'll go ahead and continue with my report. This project is vital for continued water supply to stakeholders and constituents within the city of Los Angeles. As part of its water infrastructure improvement project, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power will replace over 6 miles of an aged 72-inch diameter riveted steel pipeline that was installed in 1914 with a new 54-inch diameter earthquake-resilient ductile iron and welded steel pipe. The existing pipeline was installed in 1914, has experienced several leaks in the past 16 years. The most recent leak occurred in 2019 that resulted in a pipe collapse by the Van Norman complex and a pipe break by Devon Work Park. The extensive replacement project, referred to as City Trunkline North Unit 1, will provide additional capacity, greater system flexibility, and enhanced reliability to customers in the San Fernando Valley. By implementing this project, the community is provided a safe and reliable water supply for many years to come. The request on this board report is to temporarily close city streets at 2 locations. Along Arleta Avenue from Fox Street to Chatsworth Drive, designated as Work Area 13. That work will be ending in January 2025. The second location is Arleta Avenue at San Jose Street, designated as Work Area 17, and that construction work will be ending in May 4th, 2025. All major submittals have been approved by Bureau of Engineering and our sister agencies. Council District has provided their support for the project. Los Angeles LADOT has provided the traffic control plans. This project has been coordinated with community stakeholders and jurisdictional agencies. Although this is a 6-mile project, some sections will require full street closures and some do not. Therefore, we will return to the Board of Public Works for future closure requests. BOE supports the efforts DWP is taking to make this line ready for future seismic events and help guarantee the City of LA and its constituents safe and reliable water supply. This concludes my report. LADWP and I are here and happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, commissioners? No, I do. When does the closure begin?
So with these 2 work areas, some of the closures have already begun. DWP has designated this emergency work due to the condition of the pipe. So some of the work started on October 5th for work area 13, I believe, and the construction will continue until the end of the project.
That's the one in January or May?
So Clemente, do you want to step on the 2 locations?
Sure. So for work area 13, we're actually ahead of schedule. So we're thinking of restoring the street to 1 lane open for the north and westbound direction next Saturday. So for work area 17, the construction will happen all the way up to May 2025.
But it's been closed since October 5th?
October 5th, that's for work area 13. Work area 17 was closed about 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry, which one?
October 19th.
October 19th.
Correct.
And what kind of notice did you, we're learning about it now, but what notice did the residents of the area get then?
Yeah, I can speak on that. So we did send out multiple notices. So there's a resident letter that goes out to the residents for each work area that is impacted.
I'm sorry, could you speak into the mic a little bit?
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. So we do reach out to all the residents. We send out resident letters. Actually, the Trunk Line Construction Group behind me sends out the resident letters to all the residents for every work area that is affected. So one resident letter went out for the first phase of work area 13. A second one just went out for the second phase of work area 13, which is going to start in November or December, end of November or beginning of December. Another resident notice also went out for work area 17, and this is just to the residents. We also send notices to the fire department, the police department, council district gets briefed, neighborhood councils, everybody's notified ahead of time, and we do have a process that we follow. I don't know if you guys would like us to go over that process, but we do reach out to multiple groups.
And was there any work being done once it was closed, or was it still waiting for like approval from us to initiate the work?
The notices all went out before the
No,
work started.
the actual construction work.
So, sorry, did you mean the construction work for these workers?
Right.
You're asking if it was ongoing?
They started once the closure started.
Yes, the project's been going on for a while. So there's multiple work areas, and these work areas are the ones that we're just beginning right now. But the City Trunk Line North Unit 1 project has been going on for some time now. So yes, the work has already been going on by the time that these notices went out.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Vice President Chavez?
It's more of a comment. Obviously, replacing our city's water pipe network is a very important thing. We have over 7,000 miles of water pipe, and a lot of them are almost 100 years old. And as we've seen, when things go wrong, they go really wrong, where we've seen sinkholes and dramatic destruction that happens. I had asked during the briefing similar questions that Mr. President asked about community outreach. I think it's really important. I know that you had talked about there, in addition to the letters that go to residents, because we know that people don't always look at their mail, especially if it looks like junk mail. You know, really relying on additional types of communication. I know that you mentioned, you know, going on different platforms like Nextdoor and other things like that. I would love to get more information about what that looks like, just so we can educate ourselves, and also look at where this information is posted. Is it somewhere online that can be accessible, so that, you know, if a resident wants to know what's going on in their neighborhood, even if they're not directly impacted, let's say it's on their way to school or work, you know, it's nice to know these things. We know that Google Maps doesn't always correctly identify when there's traffic impacts due to construction such as this. So that kind of information I think would be really great. So I would love to get some information.
Yeah, so we do also have Nextdoor posts that we post. The construction site itself has signs that are put up with Clemente's contact information. So he's the field engineer, and he could be contacted at any time. We also have fact sheets online that we can have folks refer to. Construction notices and postcards get sent to residents that are more affected than others. So if any of their driveways are being blocked off, and if they're going to be more significantly impacted, we single out who those residents are, reach out to them directly, and come up with some sort of a compensation plan or some sort of a workaround so that they can continue to get to their homes, have their gardeners come by, or deal with any sort of other issues, like if they're handicapped and whatnot. I'm sorry, Genevieve, did you want to say something?
Yes, hi, good morning, commissioners. So prior to any trunk line project starting, we typically do outreach to the neighborhood councils and the council offices. And so even during the ERR stage, right, so we explain to them the criticality of these different projects, and we obtain the comments from the public in terms of what their concerns are, and we try to mitigate that ahead of time. So like what Joseph has indicated is that we do have a fact sheet that we prepare in collaboration with the council offices. And then we also have a dedicated website for these different projects. So if the public has any questions about the details of the project itself, they can access that website. And in addition to the resident letters, we do have Nextdoor posts. We do have postings on Facebook and Twitter as well. And so those are covered in that aspect. And then we contact LAUSD schools and we do presentations at the schools as well to ensure that any impacts to any of the school routes or the drop-offs for the kids are also mitigated ahead of time.
Great, thank you. And I would love to get a copy of the fact sheet too when you get a chance. Thank you.
If you could send that to me, TJ Knight, and then I'll distribute it to all commissioners. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other, Commissioner King?
Thank you, Mr. President. I did echo what Commissioner Vice President Chavez mentioned earlier, and I also did recommend that potentially future projects to look into working with ethnic media, whether it's Spanish or Asian, because many of our immigrant communities are not accessing Nextdoor or some of the outlets that we're using. So thank you very much.
Great point, thank you. Any other comments? Do we have a motion? I will motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, we have a motion from myself and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Very well. President Corson will take a roll call vote on approval of item number 8, starting with you, President Corson.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 8 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9 in CD12, a memorandum of agreement for Caballero Creek Park project. Before Mr. Ho, you begin, let's check in on public comment. We have one in-person public comment card from Audit LA, who is not in the room. Do we have any virtual hands raised, Mr. Knight?
We do not, President Corson.
Okay, we'll close public comment on this item. Mr. Ho, go ahead.
All right. Good morning, President Corman, Board Commissioners, Executive Officer, City Attorney Representative, Board Representatives, and City staff. My name is Kevin Ho, Environmental Engineer in the Safe Clean Water Implementation Division. On behalf of our Bureau of Sanitation and Environment, and on behalf of our Director and General Manager, Barbara Romero, I am pleased to be here to present this report requesting approval for the Director of LA Sanitation and Environment and 2 members of the board to execute a memorandum of agreement with Mountain Recreation and Conservation Authority, MRCA, regarding the Caballero Creek Park project. So LA Sanitation's goal is to implement stormwater projects to improve the water quality in the city of LA. LA San has been collaborating with MRCA and Rec and Parks on this project, Caballero Creek Park, which is located in Council District 3. This project will be on a future Rec and Park parcel, and LA Sanitation will be responsible for the operative and maintenance of the stormwater components of the project after MRCA completes construction. LA Sanitation has been working with MRCA during the design phase, starting in early 2022. This project began construction in August of 2024 and is expected to complete construction in June of 2025. A little bit of background on the funding. In fiscal year 2016-2017, $750,000 in MICLA funding was allocated towards this project in the mayor's budget, and in 2018, Council File 18-0547 authorized the transfer of the MICLA funding from a MICLA fund over to a stormwater pollution abatement SPA fund, and also to create this this MOA, which is this report you see today. The MOA is seeking approval to authorize the $750,000 of MICLA funding to MRCA for design and construction of this project. These funds, this is kind of timely because the project is in construction right now, and MRCA is starting to construct the stormwater components of the project. The funding for this project, the $750,000, will be on a reimbursement basis, which means that MRCA will be submitting invoices to us for the work that they have performed. MRCA has additional funding for the project. The total project cost is about $5.5 million, and the additional funding is all managed by MRCA. If there's any increases to the project cost, that'll all be handled by MRCA. The total contribution from the city would be a ceiling of $750,000. In addition to the MOA that you see today, we also have a mix of other MOAs for maintenance. We have a MOA with LA County Flood Control District to enter their facilities into the channel, and also a maintenance agreement with Rec and Parks once the project is complete to distinguish the maintenance responsibilities for each party. Right now, the parcel is owned by GSD, and upon project completion, the parcel will be transferred over to Rec and Parks. We'll work with Rec and Parks to maintain and operate the structural, mechanical, and electrical stormwater facilities, and Rec and Parks will be responsible for maintaining the landscape, irrigation, and recreational facilities. This also includes the trash and graffiti removal. MRC is also working on securing all other required permits to implement the project. Going into a little bit of the benefits of the project, this project is designed to utilize a mix of low-tech and biological methods to conserve water, and the goal is to have the park operate on a net zero use of potable water and energy consumption. Some of the project components include a stormwater diversion to capture flow coming from Caballero Creek, a trash separator unit, a pump system to a disinfection and bioswale unit, and the goal is to use the stormwater to irrigate the park. The park is not just a stormwater facility; it's also will include park elements and will have spaces for people to recreate. So this project is a multi-benefit project that benefits multiple agencies. For us in sanitation, it will assist us in our NPDES compliance with the LA River TMDLs. Here for Upper LA River, we have bacteria and trash TMDLs. For Rec and Parks, this benefits them in creating a new park. This lot used to just be a kind of concrete lot that doesn't have any use, and is transforming that lot into a recreational park. So with that, this concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Great. Any questions, commissioners, comments? Vice President Chavez.
Just wanted to add, I thought this is a great example of collaboration with two different city departments and a nonprofit organization to, number one, on the financing part, MRCA went out and got funding, used city funding. The fact that we're using an underutilized city parcel that owned by GSD that is going to be built by MRCA, that sanitation was able to put in stormwater capture and bioswales, and then will become a new park for city residents to enjoy. It's a really great model. And I know we had talked about in the briefing about sort of these great collaborations that first started with Propo and now are being used with funding from W, and hopefully can become a sort of solidified set of rules of operation for projects like this moving forward. So I just wanted to make that note. So thank you for bringing this to us.
Thank you. Just every time I see MRCA, I think of the No Sleep Till Brooklyn Beastie Boys song. They call him Adam Yauch, but he's MCA. But with that, do we have a motion to approve item number 9?
So move.
Do we
I'll
have a
second.
second? Wonderful. Mr. Knight, we have a first from President Pro Tem Grant and a second from Commissioner Kang.
Very well, we will take a roll call vote on approval of item number 9, starting with you, President Corsand.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 9 is adopted, referred to Mayor and Council forthwith.
Okay, as mentioned before we started the meeting, we're going to take a brief recess. And just for everyone paying attention, we're going to take items 10. When we come back, we're going to take 10, 12, 13, and 14 together, 11, then 11. And then item number 15, 16, and 17 have been continued. So then we will pick it up when we get back in 5 minutes. Say 5 and then see how it goes. Stretch the legs. All right, everyone, we will get started. It is 11:45 and we are back. Mr. Knight, if you could establish quorum again for us, please.
Thank you, President Corsand. Says TJ Knight, Acting Executive Officer. Taking role in establishing quorum, we have President Corsand, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Kang, and Commissioner Mitchell in the room. I did see Vice President Chavez just step out. I'll make an announcement, and it looks like she's returning right now. Vice President Chavez is here. We have City Attorney Representative Virginia Choi. Once again, I'm TJ Knight, Acting Executive Officer. It's now 11:46. I'm going to go ahead and put us back in, and we are back in record mode.
Great. So we're going to take items 10, 12, 13, and 14 together. Item number 10 is a contract acceptance Inwood Drive, 13375 Bulkhead. Item number 12 is an advisement for subcontractor substitution, PPC Construction. Item number 13 is advisement number 3, subcontractor substitution for Geronimo Concrete. And item number 14 is subcontractor substitution, Axiom Group. We'll start with public comment. We do have one in-person public comment card from Audit LA. And you will have 2 minutes on this item.
Mr. President, though, you know, I make comparisons and contrasts and talk about previous things. So, you know, FYI. But basically, I just want to say, you know, like it mentions Commissioner Davis. He was a great guy. I really like and appreciated Commissioner Davis. And so if he feels that something here is important, then I'm going to stand. I'm going to say it probably is important. But the thing here, and this is where the comparison is that they're talking about ground penetrating radar scanning work for sidewalk repair program. And I would like to see that for not just, you know, for everywhere. And especially since we have brought up before this, you know, like I said, in comparison, we have brought up that they have been on L. Ron Hubbard and Fountain working without permits on tunnels underneath, which would, you know, require cement, because I saw the cement one in there too. But just that I hope that they, in time, maybe we could get to where they could make sure that this radar system would be able to go and look for if there is anything done without permits underground at that location, because it's been reported. And thank you. And I think I'm done for the day. So thank you, everybody. Until next time.
Okay. Do we have any virtual hands raised, Mr.
We do not, President Corsand.
Okay. We will close public comment on these items, and we'll hear the presentation from Mr. Espindola.
Good morning. Good morning, George Espindola with the Bureau of Contract Administration. So I'm going to go and I'm going to give you a very, very small, tiny description of what a project acceptance is. So project acceptance and closeout is one of, among many of the duties of the Bureau of Contract Administration. During construction and for closeout, Bureau staff must completely understand all aspects of the project requirements. The Bureau ensures that the city's contractors deliver the projects in conformance with the plans, specifications, and the rules and requirements, and make sure that they have been met. The Bureau of Contract Administration has a finals group in our General Services Division that serves as an independent inspection section that audits each project for conformance to the plans and specifications. Once projects successfully pass through this independent review, a statement of completion, which is the official date of final field acceptance, is issued, and the project is processed through our Office of Contract Compliance to ensure all project business requirements have been met. And other steps, of course, such as the last payment to our contractors and the review of certified payrolls are done by the BCA's Office of Contract Compliance. After all of this is done, then the project is recommended for adoption by your board. With that brief description, I will proceed to today's project acceptance. This is for the 13375 West Inwood Drive Bulkhead Project, was awarded to Clark Contracting Corporation on September 7th, 2022 in the amount of $602,244 with a not to exceed limit of amount of $722,692. This project constructed approximately 60 linear feet of bulkhead, curb and gutter, steel beams, and approximately 350 square feet of new pavement and erosion control hydro seeding on Inwood Boulevard in Council District 4. 2 change orders were issued totaling $50,922.25, decreasing the total cost of this project to $551,321.75. Final corrections were completed on March 30th, 2023. Funding was through SB1 Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Fund number 59V. BCA's Office of Contract Compliance has found that this contract has met all equal employment opportunities and labor compliance requirements of the contract. There are no unresolved property complaints or disputed funds in connection to this project. That concludes my presentation for project acceptance.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from commissioners? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve items number 10, 12, 13, and 14?
I'll move.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Great. Mr. Knight, we have a first from Commissioner Kang and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Very well. We will take a roll call vote on approval of items 10, 12, 13, and 14, starting with you, President Corsand.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Kang.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes, and those items are adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Thank you, Mr. Espinola. We will mark that aye as a very affirmative aye from Vice President Chavez today. Moving on to item number 11 from Sanitation, advisement number 3 in CD7, second memorandum of understanding, Discovery Cube Los Angeles, LA Sanitation events and programs. And before we hear the report, we will see if there's any public comment. In-person card, we only had from Audit LA, who's left the room. Mr. Knight, do we have any virtual hands raised?
We do not, President Corsand.
We do not. Please come on up.
Good morning. My name is Melinda Geyer. I'm with the Office of the City Administrative Officer. The item before you is the recommended approval of the transmittal of the Third Amendment of the Second MOU between the Bureau of Sanitation and the Discovery Cube Los Angeles. In regards to the Second Amendment, the Discovery Cube has received $1.8 million in the current 2024-25 adopted budget. The $1.8 million has already been appropriated into the General City Purposes Fund, and the city clerk administers that. Of that dollar amount, $900,000 came from the general fund, $450,000 came from the Solid Waste Resources Revenue Fund, and $450,000 came from the Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund. This MOU Third Amendment is necessary to increase the total compensation by the $1.8 million that was approved in the mayor's proposed budget, and it will allow the Discovery Cube to obtain cash advances subject to final documentation of allowable costs. It is also recommended that the board request that the CAO continue to serve as administrator responsible for authorizing the disbursement of cash advances and final approval of invoice documentation. As the funding is appropriated within the General City Purposes Fund, all parties prefer that payments are processed by the city clerk upon approval by the CAO. This will help to expedite the payment process. We will continue to work with the Bureau of Sanitation to ensure that the same process is followed with regards to the invoice approvals in order to protect the use of their special funds. I'm also joined by representatives from LA Sanitation, Naisha Lewis and Ken Jeong, who can speak to the programming elements of the MOU. And then we are happy to take any questions that you might have. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Naisha Lewis, a Senior Management Analyst 2 with the Bureau, with LA Sanitation. So in regards to the programming aspects of this MOU, over the years, we've collaborated with DCLA on a number of different projects that benefit the community. Those task directives include collaborative community outreach, which is the Science to STEM LA Sanitation workshop demonstrations that are provided to a number of LAUSD schools. We also support the Discovery Cube assemblies and field trips. Again, those are in classroom sessions with those LAUSD schools, and then they're actually taken to field trips to Discovery Cube. There has also been the design and development of 2 portable interactive exhibits. Those exhibits are for the Los Angeles River, it's the LA Watershed Table, which features the LA River. And then there's also the Solid Waste Management Sorting Bin interactive exhibits. Those exhibits are used to actually, when they go to community events and table or go to the schools, to actually provide an interactive hands-on experience for the children. We also have the LA Sand Days at the Cube, which is the first Tuesday of every month. LA Sand customers can receive up to 4 free admission tickets, 2 adults and 2 children per household, and that will give them access to the Discovery Cube LA. There are also targeted sponsored field trips for LAUSD schools within Council District 7, which is where the Discovery Cube is located. We also do advertisement outreach and the coordination services for LA Sand's 7 core community events, which includes Earth Day LA and our 6 open house programs, which are when we open up our collection yards to the community and invite them in to come and learn about our solid resource management. And DCLA is our core sponsor for that. And we also have 3 exhibits at DCLA for which LA Sanitation is the core sponsor. And we're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments? I do have one. I know all about Discovery Cube. I think it's wonderful. Just a question of, there any other opportunities outside of Discovery Cube in different parts of the city similar to it that we have or we are pursuing?
I'm not aware of any that kind of follow that exact same model. The Discovery Cube started as a Proposition K project, is one of the first ones that was undertaken. And we are in year 28 of a 30-year authority there. So the Discovery Cube, which is located on Rec and Parks land, is kind of a unique project in that way. The funding that built it and the collaborative partnership, the originally intended organization to run the Discovery Cube actually went bankrupt, and so the city was kind of left scrambling because the item had to open, and Discovery Cube came forward, and I think that just laid a very strong collaborative partnership in that regard. I don't think that's meant to say that we couldn't do anything like that. I mean, we have hundreds of parks and buildings and programs that are run all over the place. I don't know of any that are specific to LA Sanitation and the specifically unique, wonderful work that they do there.
Thank you. Naisha, anything to add to that?
No, I was just going to say, we do partner with a lot of different organizations for community cleanups and things like that. But specifically to a project like this, Discovery Cube is the one that I know that sanitation is the most involved in.
Thank you. With that, seeing no other questions or comments, sorry, Vice President Chavez.
Sorry, just a clarification question. Is this amendment required to go to council for approval?
Yes, this would actually be transmitted to the mayor's office, who would then run it through the CAO's office for what they call an 83 review, which is a contract review. That then gets sent to council, and then once that's approved, then it will come back here for signature. So it's a bit of a lengthy process.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, we have a motion from President Pro Tem Grant and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Very well. We will take a roll call vote on approval of item number 11, starting with you, President Corsand.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner King.
Aye.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
Aye.
All ayes. Item number 11 is adopted, referred to the mayor forthwith.
Thank you. As noted, We are moving to the oral reports, and items number 15, 16, and 17 have been continued. Item 15 to November 13th, item 16 and 17 to November 15th. And with that, we'll take up item number 18, which is an update from all bureaus and community level contracting. And we will start first with Linda McClinchy from the Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good afternoon.
You know what? Sorry about that. Did not do a double check on public comment. I got too excited. We have one public comment card from Audit LA in person who has left the room. And Mr. Knight, do we have any hands raised?
We do not, President.
We don't. So we will close public comment. And Ms. McClinchy, back to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome, commissioners. I'm Linda McClinchy with the Bureau of Contract Administration. I thought I'd provide you with a little background on community level contracting. This all began in 2015 when the Bureau of Contract Administration and the Bureau of Engineering partnered together to look for more opportunities to offer in terms of contracting to our small, local, and diverse businesses. So in that effort, we took the sidewalk repair program and we unbundled opportunities. We created a bench for contractors where it was more focused towards the new first-time bidders to increase our bidder pool, educate them on city contracting, give them that opportunity to act as a prime. And in doing so, we catered this bench of small sidewalk contractors by limiting the work packages that would be awarded to no more than $100,000. That would make it less appealing to the large contractors. And it operated on a rotational basis. So we did that, and the first list was established in 2016. That list consisted of 35 contractors, of which 66% of them were first-time bidders with the Board of Public Works, meaning they had not had contracts awarded to them as prime contractors. And in terms of diversity, that group, we had 29% of the primes were emerging business enterprises, meaning that they had annual revenues of less than $5 million a year. 40% of them were local business enterprises. 40% were also minority business enterprises. And 40% were small business enterprises, meaning that they had annual revenues of less than $14 million a year. And finally, we had 6% that were women-owned businesses. The success of that, we looked for additional opportunities. And we had partnered with Street Lighting to create a bus bench lighting bench. The Bureau of Engineering again stepped up and we created a community level contracting opportunity for the solar lighting installation on city facilities. Then in 2021, May 19th, the Board of Public Works passed a motion or adopted a motion to really make community level contracting a Department of Public Works goal. It directed BCA to work with the other bureaus to find other opportunities and the bureaus to report on their efforts quarterly, as well as making sure that when we find these opportunities, we identify them to you so it's obvious for you that it's a community level contracting opportunity. With that said, BCA is currently working with the Bureau of Engineering. We're doing our first ever architectural services bench, which has 2 tiers. Tier 1 being a community level contracting opportunity, and then the tier 2 is for larger projects that you see many of the main large contractors do that work. We're also working with the Bureau of Sanitation currently. I'm excited about this. It's a citywide community compost and urban gardening education program, and they're separating the city into 4 different quadrants. And so we see this as a community level contracting opportunity that should be coming to your board for authorization fairly soon, I hope. And recently, earlier this year, we established our second small sidewalk repair community level contracting bench. This bench has 34 contractors on it. And out of those 34, I'm pleased to say that 68% of them are first-time bidders. So with that, unless you have questions, that concludes the Bureau of Contract Administration's oral report.
Thank you, Ms. McGlinchey. Do we have any questions or comments? Yes.
Just a couple. Thank you for your report. Do you have any sense in terms of the bench, the number of projects that they've been awarded?
So the not on every bench. I know that Bureau of Engineering should be able to provide that in terms of the small sidewalk bench. Their previous small sidewalk bench, I think, had either upper 30s, maybe even 40s in terms of number of work packages awarded. And this most recent bench, at the time it was established, they already had, I believe, 5 projects ready to award.
And would you happen to know, I know this has been an issue in other areas, how soon after they completed the project that they were able to be reimbursed or paid for their work?
That I could not tell you. I can tell you we do try to prioritize these small contractors,
Right.
though.
Because they can't float as a bigger one can, and that's the whole purpose of, I would think, of directing a smaller bench, a community bench, but we have to be more mindful, if you will, or conscious of that issue.
Correct. As a matter of fact, for this most recent small sidewalk bench, one of the things we did, lesson learned, if you will, is once the bench was established, all of those first-time bidders, it was mandatory for them to attend a small business academy style training where we went over all the expectations, which included submission of invoices and the process for getting paid.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, thank you. We'll move on to Bureau of Sanitation, Mr. Pattison.
Thank you, President Corsand. Good afternoon, Commissioners, City Attorney, Mr. Knight, Bureau representatives. I'm John Pattison with the Bureau of Sanitation, or LA Sanitation and Environment, as we like to call ourselves. LA Sanitation currently has 2 pending CLC opportunities. We've got an RFQ for landscaping and site services. And as Mrs. McGlinchey stole my thunder, we also have upcoming an RFP for the organic waste and urban gardening public education program. We are on the landscaping RFQ. We are proposing to award contracts for 2 contractors, contracts valued over $50,000, and 2 contracts to 2 contractors for contracts valued under $50,000. So 4 contracts in total, 2 above $50,000 and 2 below $50,000. There's also consideration to re-release the RFQ. We had several contractors who did not meet the qualifications. planning to reopen the RFQ to allow them to compete, potentially increase the number of contracts that we'll have on that opportunity as well. And as Ms. McLinch mentioned, we are working with her Bureau of Contract Administration on the board reports for both the landscaping RFQ and the organic waste program. We are considering breaking up the organic waste program into geographic regions. That's one of the tools that we use. Another of the tools that we use is the community level contracting checklist created by the Bureau of Contract Administration, provided to the bureaus. It's very beneficial to help us, help our project managers when they review the proposals. A big way that we do this is either based on price. So we select like a price for small contractors, potentially first-time bidders, or the geographic region, which will be the organic gardening opportunity. We meet with our various LA Sanitation divisions once a month. Each of the divisions, we meet with them all once a month, including the division staff. We go over the pending opportunities that they've got coming up. We talk about the possibility of using the CLC checklist and breaking up their opportunities into, or unbundling into CLC opportunities. And again, we use the checklist for that. We include also a discussion in the board report. So when it comes to you, a board report will include a discussion regarding the CLC and what we've proposed. That completes LA Sanitation's presentation. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Pattison. Do we have any questions, comments? Commissioner King.
Thank you so much for that report. Out of curiosity, are some of the communication related to first-time contractors or organics program translated in any of the other languages?
We do have a language translation program. We recently awarded, just the last couple of months, an on-call consultants list. We are putting out a translation program to translate the opportunities that we have going out. With respect to the actual RFPs when they go out, I do not believe the entire RFP packet is translated. I think what we more use it for is informational documents that we have.
Are there initiatives to allow for translations to be more inclusive of it?
I am not aware of any. I can find out and I can get back to you with that more information.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up, we will move on to Streets LA because Ms. Yanez, you're always very patiently waiting to give us this report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the board. Thank you. Martha Iñiguez, reporting on the status of the community level contracts for the Bureau of Street Services. The first contract listed on the CLC report is for the freeway off-ramp closure services with Sternal Enterprises. This contract expired August 31st. We are currently drafting a new RFP to replace the contract. The next 4 contracts listed are for the maintenance of landscape median islands. These services were originally split from 2 work packages to 4 work packages back in October of 2020. The 4 contracts have a term of 1 year plus 2 one-year renewal options and will all be expiring on various dates within the first 3 months of 2025. The first 2 will be expiring January 17th and the 29th, respectively. We will be exercising the renewal options for those 2 contracts. The last item on our report is the pre-qualified on-call list of contractors for sidewalk and park vending outreach and education. These 5 contracts were executed in December of 2023. The contracts don't expire until February 2026. A task order solicitation number 350 was issued on June 18th. 3 proposals were received by the July 17th deadline. Currently, the TOS awards are pending. We continue to seek potential CLC opportunities as we look to procure future contracts. But that concludes my report, and I can answer any of your questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, comments? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll move next to Bureau of Engineering.
Thank you for your time.
Arsen Vorsekachian. I think I got that one right. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Arsen Voskirchan. I'm a Principal Civil Engineer for the Bureau of Engineering and the Division Manager for our Project Award and Control Division. Our division basically manages the bid and award phase of projects for the Bureau, and we help establish specialty contracts as well as getting projects advertised, soliciting bids, and helping to get those projects awarded for construction and so forth. And so today I'll be reporting on our community level contracting activity for the first quarter of this year, fiscal year 24-25. And in the first quarter, which is between July 1, 2024 to September 30th, 2024, there were no small packages or there were no CLC work issued. However, there were some in the works already. And so we project that in the next quarter, second quarter, between October 1 and December 31st, 2024, we would be issuing 6 community level contracting opportunities. All 6 of those are from our sidewalk repair program. As Linda had mentioned earlier, our small sidewalk contracts, we project that 6 small packages will be issued in the next quarter, each of which are about $100,000 worth. So totaling about $600,000 for the next quarter. These would be sidewalk repair work. They are access requests, accelerating access request responses. And so it'd be responding directly to constituent requests for access. And that concludes my report. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, comments? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't think we have anyone from Bureau of Streetlights. We don't. We'll wait for Mr. Knight to come back and close us out officially. Mr. Knight, I think we've cleared the desk.
Yes, that clears the queue for the agenda for today.
Great. So it is 12:17 and we are adjourned for